Guys, it is right around the corner. Let's start over. Guys, we are right around the corner from The Chosen Season 3 filming for the Feeding of the 5,000. It is in a few days. As you're seeing this when this video goes up, it is actually going to be tomorrow, since this goes up on Monday. We are right around the corner from 5,000 feeding. I'm so excited I can't even speak words. It is tomorrow, and I'm going to be there tomorrow. As you're seeing this video, I'm currently in Dallas, Texas. Now, why does this look like my regular setup? Because I'm recording this on Saturday, because on Sunday I fly out to Dallas, Texas. It's finally happening. And then Tuesday is obviously the filming. Monday I'll post the video. You know, yada, yada, yada. You don't need to hear about that, but it's here, guys. It's finally here. It seemed like it would never happen back in December when we all signed up for it. It was like, oh, yeah, sure, it'll be here eventually, maybe. If they don't delay it or shut it down or something. And finally, here it is. I got a COVID test today. It's a thing that happened, that's for sure. But we have had another filming of Chosen Season 3 wrap up this week, because, you know, they're filming every week. And this Monday was Memorial Day, so I'm sorry I didn't say that in the video because I forgot about that. It was Memorial Day, so I guess Happy Memorial Day. Although someone pointed out in the comments that it's not technically Happy Memorial Day, but because you're honoring, you know, whatever. But respectful Memorial Day, I guess you could say, because I don't want to aggravate that person. But yeah, it was Memorial Day, and so they didn't film that day, and I was I was going the whole day wondering. And in the video I said, by the end of this video, they'll probably have completed Season 3 filming for the day. And no, they didn't do any, because it was Memorial Day, so everyone gets a holiday, so, except me, because I had to edit and upload the video, but everyone else did. So that was fun. And then the rest of the week, so we had a shorter week, because we only had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I can't count. But 4 days instead of 5 this week, and it was very interesting nonetheless, actually. This week was a very interesting week, and we have a lot to cover. But first, we have a very, very, very long theory to cover from Megan DeJimo. She finally told me how to pronounce her name, so now I know. And I won't get it wrong and embarrass myself in front of all of you anymore. But, you know, that's fun. So she has a long theory that I'd like to read, because, hey, when someone takes the amount of time to write out a theory this long and send it to me, then I'm going to read it. And we want to get this out of the way, because she sent in the theory, just barely missed the mark for... She sent it in Monday morning, and I had filmed it Sunday night, so she just barely missed her time window to send in the theory. But I just wanted to read it, because first of all, we don't have a Catherine Menning theory this week. Not that I know of. Maybe she sent it to me and I didn't get it, but as far as I know, we don't have one this week. So this is the next best thing, because it's another theory from someone in the chosen community. So it's same thing. But Megan DeJimo says, so far we know that episode 3 is going to be separated from the rest of the season, as it traditionally is. We've seen shots of young Mary and babies, as well as Jesus visiting his mother, which have all been confirmed, or at least I think so. I can't read. To be from that episode. I was looking back at the Rosh Hashanah BTS a while ago and realized we don't see any of the other disciples present. So far, we've only seen shots of Jesus, Mother Mary, and what I think to be Lazarus, but I could be wrong. And yes, that is a good point. We haven't really seen any other disciples as of me recording this video right now, and as I know, I don't think we've seen any more disciples, so that is interesting. I forget who or where I saw someone say they think Jesus will return to Nazareth at some point this season. I know many have stated it in some way, especially after that leaked photo of Jesus being escorted by who we think is Rafi from a synagogue. And I think that's like the parable where Jesus is like they threaten to throw him off a cliff or something. I think that's what that scene might be. That's my theory, but I don't know. There's also that shot from the other day of the 3 of them at a tomb. I'm thinking episode 3 will focus on Jesus returning home to Nazareth either shortly after or shortly before John the Baptist dies. We get formally introduced to Lazarus as he grew up in Nazareth in the context of the show / my theory with Jesus, and has returned home from Bethany for the Jewish New Year. Throughout the episode, we see flashbacks to the 3 of them in their childhood, as well as what Lazarus and Jesus' friendship is like now as adults. They celebrate the festival and go to the synagogue where Raphi and possibly Dinah, because she Dinah R, because she was the one who grew up in Nazareth. That's when Jesus gets rejected by everyone, and Rapha escorts him out with another townie. If John hasn't already died at some point in the episode, they will find out he has passed. Jesus will visit Mary in her home, and they have that emotional talk, and then the three of them go to visit his tomb. So that's a lot, and I don't know if you guys are able to. I just realized you see the cord right there. We're just gonna pretend that you didn't see that. Okay, it's not there. I don't know if you guys were able to digest it all, but I could see it happening. That is a route that they could go. I don't know if that's the route that they are going in the episode, but it's a route that they definitely could go, and is definitely plausible. Whew, that's like plausibility squared, because it's plausible for them to add all of this backstory in, saying that it was plausible for it to happen in the time of Jesus's life when all of this happened. So that's like, yeah, plausibility squared as of now, but we'll have to see what happens in the actual episode. But yeah, that's the theory of the week this week. I think it's plausible. It's definitely, yeah, it's obviously, like, nothing is confirmed at this point. Like, all of these theories, there's no, like, definitive, yes, this is true, or no, this cannot be true. But, we'll have to see what happens, and really, it's a fair game for anyone's theories right now. So, again, if you want to send in a theory, or if you have a theory, let me know down below in the comments. I think there was a few on the last video, and if I don't get to those, then let me know in this video, but I will make sure to read. I do try to read all of your comments, and it's like, I don't get like a ton. I'm not like, oh, I have so many comments to read, I can't read them all. Just, I'm pretty busy, so I don't have time to, like, do that. And usually it's someone criticizing me for something I said, so it's, you can never tell. I'm not always like, yes, someone commented. I'm like, what are they going to say now? So, whatever. But that is that. And let's get into the week this week, because, again, this week was interesting. How many times can I say week in a sentence? I do not know. Week. That was like 5 times. I don't know. I didn't count. But yes, this week of Season 3 filming was very, very interesting because, first of all, for like Tuesday, we had... It looked like to me... Well, actually, first we have this, like, Adam Drake, the assistant director for The Chosen, posted this picture of a Roman, like, statue thing. And something that Catherine Manning pointed out to me, since she's currently unavailable this week for whatever reason. She's giving me the cold shoulder. She doesn't like me anymore. She said a while back, I forget when, but when I was talking about Season 3 casting, like when I looked at the list of people who they were casting for, she pointed out that already cast have been Martha, Mary, as in Lazarus' sister, and Pilate have already been cast. Apparently. She saw them on the cast list a few days ago. That's what she said. At the time that she sent that message, so that was like months ago. But so it seems that Pilate might appear in the show. And this might be that. This might be part of that scene. Roman statue. Again, this might have to do with Pilate somehow. And then Dallas posted a picture or video later about this field, and it had that same statue in it. So again, don't know what that is, but we've seen, and Dallas posted in his stories like a few weeks ago, that there's going to be a heavier Roman influence this season. So again, I think definitely the Pilate has a possibility of showing up, which would be really cool. As much as I criticize on my podcast, which if you guys haven't listened to my podcast, then link in the description down below. In my podcast, I harp a lot on the miniseries The Bible, from like 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014. No, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but whenever it was, to the 2010s. I do think that the pilot in that show was pretty good. Not the pilot as in the first episode, but the pilot as in, the character, the one who sends Jesus off to be crucified. I did think they did a pretty good job with him. So hopefully the Chosens will be as good as that one. And I am excited to see if Pilate will actually make an appearance in this season, which would be cool. And it seems like they were also doing like pickups from the Sermon on the Mount this week. I think that was the Sermon on the Mount. I'm pretty sure. So at least that's just what I think. Or it could be this new field setting that they're filming for whatever scene this is going to be, because we have a very interesting scene pointed coming up in this video that Dallas posted. Here, I'll play it right here.
Christian has it.
we're heading to this camp. This is a new scene that's going to be in the show, and he kind of gives, in a story that we'll get to later, he kind of gives us a little bit of insight as to what that could be, that little camp that Jesus and his disciples are visiting. But on that first day, there's a lot of, it seems the disciples just standing around, so I don't know exactly what that means, but it does seem like they're doing a lot of just sitting around, like they have to put umbrellas on, up. They're not putting them on. But they are filming, it seems, and then this is just my theory, so you guys don't have to agree with this at all, but it is my theory that they're actually filming secret scenes for Mary Poppins 3. I mean, why else would they have all these umbrellas, guys? You gotta believe me. I think it's Mary Poppins, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, of course. Obviously, they're not filming Mary Poppins. But I laughed at that more than I should. That wasn't that funny, was it? I wasn't. I'm sorry. Okay, moving on. It seems the disciples are just sitting there, a lot, just sitting around waiting for stuff to happen, which again doesn't necessarily mean anything in particular, but it could mean something. We just don't know what it means yet. Everything has meaning. I should make a T-shirt for that, and then you guys buy it on my own merch store. Everything has meaning. That's what it is. Well, because that's what we believe as believers. I think, at least most of us, depends on what denomination or church you belong to, but pretty sure we believe that everything has meaning because of, But everything has meaning in season 3 filming for The Chosen. So we kind of get that, and then we have this thing Dallas posted where he says, "Faced off at the OK Corral." And I'm thinking this is going to be kind of like or at least it looks to me like a bit of a Sandlot moment, where they come up and it's, that in TV shows where they have the episode where if you have an ensemble cast, then they always have the episode where the opposite version of the ensemble cast comes in and then they fight or something. At least might have been cartoons that I watched when I was little, but they always have that episode, where it's the opposite version of them, and they each have their own match that's the opposite of them. That's kind of that could be what this is, and it's not. Okay, yeah, of course, this is my childhood fantasies getting the best of me, but it would be fun. At least it would be fun. Man can dream, or kid, I guess. And Dallas said in his stories that different parties are kind of threatening Jesus and the disciples in these scenes that they're filming. So could be Romans, Sadducees or Pharisees or this, and in this story here I'm just going to get to it now. Dallas says the refugee camp. Now I think we all know, or at least when I heard that, my mind immediately went to this is party at the leper colony. Yeah, I think this is this might be a town of lepers. That's just what my mind went to. Probably isn't, or it might not be, but I think there's definitely a very good chance that this is maybe a leper colony, and this could be a different scene than what we get later, which is scenes of, it's interesting to say the least. But we kind of get these scenes that later into filming where it seems like it's the same field, or not. It seems like it is the same field that they were filming what's supposed leper colony or / refugee camp scenes. Also filming with all of these just masses of people coming to Jesus, and then later, because The Chosen loves to toy with us, because they just know that when they post these things, my brain just goes. So they posted this little clip right here, and I know this is fast forwarding, but they posted this clip yesterday or Friday right here. Baskets. Come on, guys. That's just asking for it. Right here, 5 and 2, 5 and 2. It's gotta be feeding in the 5,000. Now, my mind immediately went to, actually, since this fits into my greater narrative of my theory, to where every little bit of evidence has to somehow support my theory that they're going to do the walking on water, which I'm still pretty sure that that's going to happen, although it probably won't, and I might be wrong, and then I'm going to wallow in my own misery forever and ever. But I won't be happy when the final episode premieres. Everyone will be like, "Oh, it's so sad. I'm crying. It's so emotional." I'm just like, "Oh, my theory wasn't right. They didn't do the walking on water. Why?" See, this is the problem when you do these theory videos like these. It's you like get your hopes set on something because of this one little piece of evidence that you found, and then when it doesn't end up coming true, then you just kind of end up being a little disappointed. But The Chosen did seem to be a little bit panicked by the fact that I saw a picture of a blue screen. So, could mean something. Although I probably was wrong with the walking on water. Anyway, I've been getting off track with my walking on water theory. But, we have these baskets, right? So, obviously feeding in the 5,000, and we're filming the feeding in the 5,000 next week. Which, by the way, I'm still on the clock next week. I'm not just going to be sitting there for the tourist attraction. I'm on the clock, so I'm going to be asking questions about what they're filming, what the storyline is, what exactly is going down here. So, and I will make sure to report, since I'm going to be there, what exactly it is story-wise that they're filming and how, as far as the episode might go, or like how the story will flow, that kind of thing. No mercy to these. I don't want to slam my table because it would make obnoxious noise, but no mercy to these people. Just because I'm there doesn't mean I'm not still going to be on the job. I'm looking for answers. That's right. Think you're a tough guy? Yeah, so these baskets, obviously feeding in the 5,000 related, but it's unclear whether it's before or after the feeding of the 5,000. Again, I immediately went to the assumption that it was after the feeding of the 5,000. I was like, this is it. They're doing after the feeding of the 5,000 because they get these baskets to hold the leftover fish in and bread, and it's got to be after, right? But I also started thinking, because we get shots later like this one right here, of just kind of like all these people gathering, it seems like it might be before. So what I was thinking is like Jesus goes, obviously because it's a remote location, that's where it happens. He goes out into this field, and then all these people follow him, and then he starts preaching, and like all these people start coming, and then they're like, "Oh, we're hungry, we want food," and then he's like, "Oh, okay, I will produce bread." And I'm sure if Dallas was there, he would have not liked that because he's keto, so he doesn't eat bread. So I don't know what Dallas would have done. He'd just have the fish. He'd just be nibbling on his fish, just like, thanks, Jesus. But I think it's probably before, and I guess what's happening is like, yeah, Jesus goes into this remote location, people start gathering because he's preaching, and then they're like, "Oh, we're hungry." So then Jesus, before then, had been preparing the disciples, because we see this happen before in the show, this type of thing. He says, "Hey, get a bunch of baskets, we're going to need them," and they're like, "What? Why? Okay, we're going to get a bunch of baskets, great, fine." And then it turns out that they need them because they have leftover fish and loaves from the feeding of the 5,000. So I think that's my theory, at least, unless it is after, in which case the feeding of the 5,000 might not be the end of the season, and we might get a little bit more after that, walking on water, or something else, just a little epilogue maybe. Now, we haven't seen Joanna since, or sorry, I shouldn't call her Joanna since it's not technically confirmed, but I don't know, I think we all know it's Joanna, right? The lady who was in the lake who was like, I think I heard that people were thinking it was the lady with the one who was like bleeding, and then she touched Jesus' robe, and then he healed her. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I'm really convinced that it's Joanna, but, to each their own. I think that I used that saying right. But we haven't seen Joanna since week 2 of filming, so that's interesting. We'll have to just keep that in mind because we haven't seen her since, week 2 of filming. But also, we know that the feeding we do know this might break my whole... guys, I'm really holding on to any little crumbs I can get with my walking on water theory, because we see in this picture that Noah James posted at the end of the week, this one right here, we see Paros wearing his new, like, old-fashioned, new, lower, like, less expensive tunic that he wears in what we assume to be the second half of the season. Like, I think the first few episodes he's going to be wearing his normal expensive clothes, and then either halfway or a little bit before or a little bit after halfway he switches to a tunic. And then, so that might also be Joanna, might be after the feeding of the 5,000. That is also a possibility, although we don't know. But, and I know I still have a little bit, we still have a little bit more interesting stuff to go over before Noah James posted this picture. But in this, I think the feeding of the 5,000 might be, I think it's definitely probably in the latter half of the season. So that might disprove the walking on water. Again, it's a very slim chance that they're going to do it. But if they do it, my mind will be blown and I will be happy for the rest of my life. But I doubt they're actually going to do it. But I mean, it doesn't explain what the blue screen stuff was. Like, then what was that? It doesn't make any sense. But I guess, there's probably some other explanation. They were doing something. They're doing something fishy over there. I don't trust them. But I understand, what they're doing there, I guess. They're trying to keep secrets, and although it annoys me, it's fine. It's fine. It's great. But then we have this video that I want to play that Dallas Jenkins posted of Jesus. And I want you guys to listen closely to this video and what's happening in this video. I know the main focus of the video is Jesus' Adidas, which, whatever, but there's something even more important here. You need to listen to what Jesus is saying. Because we always look for the most minute we always look for the most minute details here on Against the Current. So we don't care about Adidas. We care what Jesus is saying and what the focus of this scene is. So watch this and pay close attention to what Jesus is saying.
Of course.
About Isaiah. Forget the former things. Do not dwell.
Do not hit prophets against you.
If you didn't know, Jesus says in that scene, he says, so you know your prophets. And then the guy that he's talking to says, of course I do. And then he says, what about Isaiah? And then something, do not hold on to your worldly possessions or something like that. And the guy says, don't pit prophets against me. That's all we hear. But that's just very interesting to me. And that struck me as something that I was like, hold on a minute. Let's go back. Let's hear that again. What'd you say? So I'm very interested to see what's going on here. And I think this might be some kind of story about is it like the rich guy or something who's like, Jesus tells him, or it might be the guy, it could be, actually I think this is later, so this might not be what it is, but it might be the guy who the guy was like, what should I do it was like something like, what should I give up to follow Jesus or something, and then Jesus was like, give up everything or something like that. Maybe it was that, or the rich guy, I forget his name, or forget the details of the story per se, but it was like some guy about a rich guy, and Jesus was talking to him or something like that. This might be what that scene is, but it was just very interesting nonetheless. And if you look in that scene, the camera focus is not on the guy that Jesus is talking to, at least in this shot, nor is it on Jesus himself, but it is past him to the people behind him. That's who the camera is pointing at. So these might just be random people. They're just getting a reaction shot from them. But the guy who is we can most see, who's like right behind Jesus. Where have we seen this guy before, ladies and gentlemen? Well, let's go back to the beginning of the week. This man right here is the same man who is right here in this shot that Dallas took earlier, and he's standing with the disciples. There doesn't seem to be very many other people around here, just this guy and Jesus and the disciples. And of course, this is in the video where he was talking about trying to keep them out of the Texas heat. This looks to be the same guy. He has the same clothes on. He has the same little sash thing around him. He has the same thingamajigs. He looks like the same guy. So whoever this guy is, I think he's probably going to be pretty important to either the season overall. Actually, probably not the season overall, but I think this season they're probably going to dive into kind of more of the lesser known disciples of that were following Jesus, but not really known as the 12. Like Joanna's going to be probably joining Jesus if that's who the woman is in the lake. Or this guy will be, someone else who is in the Bible who joins Jesus kind of on his journey. And just other people who aren't one of the 12, but they're kind of, mixed in the mix. But yeah, I think that's all we have for this week. But a very interesting week nonetheless. I'm excited to see, and we don't know who the rich guy is, but he's, probably going to be someone who Jesus is going to use to make a lesson out of. But yeah, very interesting nonetheless. I'm excited to see all of these scenes. Of course, I'm excited to see all of Season 3. And if you're excited to see Season 3 of The Chosen, then make sure to like this video and leave a comment down below. What are you most excited to see this season? Nail it with that. That was amazing. But yeah, this week, guys, filming of the feeding of the 5,000. Next time I see you, or the next video that I post will be a vlog kind of documenting my experience on the feeding of the 5,000. So that's going to be awesome. I might even meet some of you if you're going on the first day that it's available. Both days are going to be awesome. I'm super excited. It's going to be amazing. This is my second time that I've ever flown in my life. So the last time I flew was like 10 years ago or something. So probably less than 10, but like, you know, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. I'm super excited, and it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I try not to say that, but I did this time, man. And yeah, stay tuned for next week, because I'm going to be telling you every little detail that I caught while I was actually there at the feeding of the 5,000. Just kind of sharing my overall thoughts on the experience. It's going to be a great time. I hope you join me next week. And I hope you liked the videos thus far, and that you'll continue to watch even beyond next week and into the future, as we cover every single week of The Chosen Season 3 filming, and even then to cover the trailer and every single episode when it drops. So you want to stay tuned for that, so subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you get all notifications, not just some, not none of course, but all of those notifications, because you're going to want them, because you want to stay tuned on Chosen content. So I'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
I was one